Now for more reaction, we welcome from Washington, Jonathan Schanzer, Senior Vice President for Research at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Thank you so much for joining us on this important story. Your take on the United States shooting down this giant Chinese balloon, claiming it had been spying on military sites across the U.S. Was it an overreaction, and why did it take so long to take it down?
It was certainly not an overreaction. I think there was an imperative to do so. I think there were questions, though, at the Pentagon as to whether there were poisonous gases or biological elements or anything else that might be able to harm the population below. So our leadership here in the United States waited until the balloon made its way to the East Coast, at which point it was shot down over water, I think thereby negating any of those possible threats. There is an effort right now to recoup the balloon. Of course, it broke up into many pieces, as you can tell from the video, but I think they're still trying to figure out exactly what was in this balloon, and if there's technology that can be recouped, I think that will be important as well.
So when you hear China's response that it reserves the right to take further action, what would you understand that to mean? How worrying is this for the United States right now?
Well, certainly it seems as if the Chinese Communist Party is not willing to back down over what was clearly a provocation and a violation of American territory. It's certainly within America's right to shoot down anything that is in its airspace that does not belong there and that has not been cleared in advance. It's obviously even more worrying when you think about the fact that the Chinese have been finding different ways to spy on the United States, to pilfer American technology, and the route in which this balloon took. It's very clear that they were trying to glean information about our intercontinental ballistic missiles and other sensitive military sites over, in particular, the northern Midwest. What the Chinese Communist Party does now in terms of response is hard to know. My sense is that they have adopted this position so that they don't need to apologize, that they don't, I mean, just remember that this is, of course, the same country, the same government that made this egregious error that ultimately led to the spread of COVID-19, and we've never seen an apology there. So every time the Chinese Communist Party is caught red-handed, they refuse to apologize, they stand their ground, and the rest of the world pays the price.
Because some might argue that the balloon, just looking at it, it's quite archaic in terms of some kind of threat. Is that part of the strategy as well, to be that innocuous?
I think the goal, at least from what we can tell, is to evade some of the radar systems where they're, trying to identify metallic objects in midair, motorized objects in midair. I think this had a smaller footprint, and perhaps it was designed to evade some of the detection of our more advanced systems here in the United States. But from what we could tell, at any rate, the Pentagon seems and the intelligence community seems rather certain at this point that it was designed to glean intelligence here in the United States.
And the reaction further impacting already tense diplomatic relations between Washington and Beijing. Antony Blinken postponing his visit to Beijing today. He was due to meet the foreign affairs minister and possibly even the president, the first such visit by a U.S. Secretary of State in nearly 6 years. That's quite a statement right now.
It is quite a statement, and I think it's the right one. Apparently last week, when this was first discovered, U.S. diplomats demanded answers from the Chinese Communist Party. They did not have any. They appeared to be caught flat-footed. There does not appear to be any clear answer thus far coming from Beijing. And I think absent that, U.S. diplomats are right to hold off on bestowing a legitimacy to this government and engaging in what would otherwise be warm diplomatic relations. So I think this is certainly a turning point. I hope that this is a moment that is used to begin to demand greater transparency and hopefully to draw something of a red line on the part of the United States, because, of course, the Chinese government has been pilfering intellectual property from the United States for many years and testing our red lines in many other ways. So this is, I think, an important moment for the State Department and for the White House to stand firm with the Chinese government.
Well, we certainly appreciate your insight. We will be watching to see how this all develops. Jonathan Schanzer, live from D.C., thank you for your time.
Thank you.